Welcome to the Midlife Edit, the podcast for women who are navigating the beautiful, messy, and sometimes sweaty journey of midlife. This isn't about a crisis, it's about an awakening. Join me, your host, Jen Weinstein, as I dive into all the things no one warned us about: hot flashes, brain fog, strength training, hormone balancing, and figuring out who the hell we are now. With a mix of expert insights, real talk, and a little humor, because if we're not laughing, we're crying, right? The Midlife Edit is your go-to space for embracing this season with confidence, strength, and balance. Whether you're trying to lift heavier, sleep better, set stronger boundaries, or just remember why you walked into a room, this podcast is here to remind you: midlife is not the end, it's just an edit, and you get to rewrite it your way. Hit subscribe and let's tackle midlife together, one episode at a time. This is the Midlife Edit. Let's make it a damn good chapter. Hello, and welcome back to the Midlife Edit. As always, I'm your host, Jen Weinstein, and today I want to talk about the art of reinvention in midlife. But before we get started, I wanted to say a quick thank you to all of my listeners out there who listened to last week's podcast and reached out to me with your support or just saying, hey, me too, or oh my gosh, I thought I was alone. I really appreciate all of you. I love this platform and I love this community because we are starting to talk about this and about how we're not alone in this journey and we're not crazy. Things are coming up all of the time and we don't know how to deal with them. So we're dealing with them together. And I've never met most of you in person, but just the fact that you took time out of your day to reach out to me to say, hey, me too, makes me feel so great about life and this new season that I'm in and all of these great connections that I'm making through this podcast. So keep them coming. Let's keep talking about it. Keep sharing the podcast because, again, we're building this community of women who can talk about all things midlife and everything that we're going through. So again, thank you so much to all of you. I really appreciate all the support. I have yet to get my Everlywell results back, but as soon as I do, I promise you that I will share them with you and I'll talk about next steps for me. I did put up a video the other day about what I was talking to my stepdaughter about, trying to kind of pivot when it comes to peer pressure and things like that and redirect what somebody's asking you to do, and how I think it's really important that when I am down and out and really struggling with whatever it is that day and I'm angry or whatever, I need to take a step back, remember the advice that I gave my 11-year-old stepdaughter, and just redirect my anger and think about something else or think about how beautiful my life really is. It's really hard to do in the moment, I know that, but it's just one of those things where I know I can sit and give advice all day. Sometimes it's really hard for me to take my own advice. So anyway, I just wanted to start off this episode by saying thank you. I appreciate you. I see you. We're all in this together. So let's talk about midlife as a season of reinvention and not a crisis. We've talked a lot about nutrition and strength training, and I think next week or the week after, we're really going to get back into some strength training episodes and why it's super important and maybe some tips and tricks and how we can do that. But I really want to talk today about the word old and how much I hate it, because we put down the fact that we're growing old and oh my gosh, we're getting older, and we look at it as a society as a whole as such a bad thing. But you know what? We are so blessed to grow old. We are privileged to grow old because there are so many people out there who don't grow old. And growing older isn't a bad thing. It gives you the opportunity to be whatever you want to be throughout your life. And something else that has really been weighing heavy on me this week, I love social media. I talk sometimes about how I love social media for the connection, and I've met so many great people, my guests through social media. I get recipes and workouts and everything else, and social media is great. But there are times where it's not, right? And this week in particular, I do like celebrity stuff. I like the gossip. I love to watch what's going on in the world of pop culture. I love pop culture Jeopardy. I do. I like it all. I watch it. I think, it's fun. But this week was the Met Gala. And I know that you've all seen the picture of Pamela Anderson. And I am just so appalled by some of these comments and reactions to the way she looked. First and foremost, Pamela Anderson has decided to grow older and is comfortable in her own skin. And I think that's amazing. I think that the fact that she's comfortable walking out of the house without makeup is so empowering, and it's such a great thing. I also feel like if you want to go get Botox and you want to go get plastic surgery and you want to go put on makeup and dye your hair, good for you. Whatever makes you feel good about you is what you should do. I'm not here to judge anybody, and it makes me so upset that people behind a screen are typing away and commenting on somebody's body and how somebody looks. And in all actuality, like, it's not for you to comment about. Like, we are growing older, and this is why we have such issues, right? Such image issues. That's why our daughters and our sons are growing up with such confidence issues, because we think it's okay to comment on somebody's body and looks and tell them that they're doing something wrong. It's terrible. And, and it wasn't just that. It was another creator that I saw on social media that she was out there saying, I got all these views on this post and all these comments, and I looked and I saw it was because people were telling me, oh, hey, your body doesn't look good, or hey, maybe you should get a boob job. Like, come on. It makes me so upset that people think they have the right to do that, number one. But number two, the other thing that makes me so infuriated is if you look at these comments, a lot of people are women that are commenting this. We're supposed to stick together. We are supposed to be in this together. We're not supposed to put these women down and bring them down for being their natural selves. We're supposed to lift each other up. I was so upset about it this week. It's just been really weighing heavy on me, and I just wanted to talk about it, and this is my platform to talk, so I'm going to talk about it. Guys, it's not okay to comment on somebody's appearance. If you know them personally and you're worried about them, pull them aside, one thing. But the fact that people are okay with telling somebody who's aging gracefully that they look like shit because they feel like it is not okay. And we need to build each other up. So that's my rant about social media for today. Please stop doing it. Listen, the age-old thing that everybody's mom used to say to them is, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. So let's live by that. All right, now let's move on to my topic today after my few rants. We're going to talk about why midlife is the perfect time to reinvent, okay? Listen, we are in our late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever age you are and you're listening to this, we have life experience, right? We have more wisdom and more confidence. And I was talking to a new friend today about this and about confidence and how she's in her 50s, and she said, oh my gosh, my confidence, I always thought when I got older maybe my confidence wouldn't be there. I am more confident now than ever. And I really truly think it's because we are allowing ourselves to be who we are, right? We're going to care less about others' opinions outside of our four walls and what we think about ourselves. We have more self-awareness. And again, the wisdom, the things that we've gone through in our lives, in our 20s and our 30s, it's taught us things about not needing validation from certain things. And many of us can feel almost this urge to rediscover who we are, because for so long we've had the labels, right? We've been girlfriends and wives and partners and moms and sisters and daughters. But did you ever step back and think, who am I without all those labels? You're an employee of whoever, stay-at-home mom. And it's just, we went through all of this, and now it's like society says, okay, midlife is a crisis and you're empty nesters. And whoever thought of these terms anyway? Like, there's no need to talk so negatively about this great new season of our life. So let's reinvent it. That's why I started this podcast, the Midlife Edit. It's not a crisis. It's a time to edit our books and rewrite our narratives. Me, myself, I was in the restaurant business for years and years and years, and I truly thought that that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And then I met my husband, and things changed. And I got into the real estate world, and then, I started my health journey, and I became a nutrition coach and a personal trainer, and I found a passion in that, and I'm still in the real estate world, and I'm different. I'm different than I thought I was going to be, and it's okay to pivot and it's okay to change. We grew up in a time where our parents and their parents had jobs, job, the same hustle, the same 9 to 5 for 40 or 50 years, and then they retired. We don't have to do that anymore. We can pivot anytime we want, right? We see it all the time. And these are types of reinventions that we can do when you get to that point where you're burnout at your job, or your kids have grown up and they don't need the 24/7 care anymore, and now you don't know what to do. So what does that look like? Well, if we're talking about careers and work, you can start a new business. I mean, we are in 2025. It's amazing how many entrepreneurs there are out there, how many new businesses have started, especially since the pandemic and all of the creative juices got flowing from people. Start a new business, or maybe shift your work into something that you're passionate about. Maybe it's not the exact job that you're doing now, but maybe it's in the field that you want to do and you're passionate about it. Pivot. If you're not working, if you're a stay-at-home mom and now your kids are grown and you don't know what to do, maybe get a part-time job or find something that you can volunteer and go to. Or ready? What about going back to school? Now I know it's expensive and that's a whole nother thing, but did you always have a dream of doing something? It's not too late to do it. Now, changing careers is not, you're not too old. I know a lot of us have seen that quote unquote great reminder on Facebook where, hey, at 23 years old, Oprah was fired from her first job. And Stephen King was 24 and working as a janitor and living in a trailer. Harrison Ford was a carpenter at the age of 30. Martha Stewart was a stockbroker in her 30s. Julia Child didn't get her own cooking show until she was 51. Vera Wang wanted to be an Olympic figure skater. She failed making it to the team, and she designed her first dress at 40. Morgan Freeman didn't land his first major role until he was 52, and Grandma Moses didn't begin her painting career until she was 76. So it's never too late to do what you're passionate about. Hell, it's okay if you don't even know what your dream is yet. I mean, I've changed jobs more times than I care to admit. My husband's probably listening, laughing, and rolling his eyes, knowing that, I found a couple things that I'm passionate about now, and I feel like I finally found my place. But, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And it's okay. Whatever your dream is, it's never too late to achieve it. And you're not a failure because you haven't started it yet. I never loved going to the gym. I never loved learning about nutrition and things like that. That just wasn't something that I was into. And then something clicked and it changed. And guess what? Now I'm passionate about it. I mean, even if you're doing something that you don't want to be doing, you never know where you're going to end up tomorrow. You're never too old to make it. And you didn't miss your chance because you can reinvent your chance and restart again. You can do whatever it is that sets your soul on fire. You're not too old. I promise you that. And you can look at all those examples that I just gave and think, wow, maybe she's right. Maybe I'm not too old. Okay, so that's maybe starting a career or business or changing. But what about hobbies? You know, when we're little, we have all these hobbies and we have all these toys and we think we're, think about that. What did you love when you were little? Something that I've always loved and I will continue to love till the day I die is music. Um, I am huge on music in general. I love music trivia. In fact, on my 40th birthday, I was in the Bahamas with my husband and a couple really good friends, and I won music trivia. So I'm pretty great at it. um, but I love music. I love the way music makes me feel. I love going to live music concerts. Dave Matthews Band is my absolute favorite band in the entire world, and I will see him every chance I get until he stops touring. But I love all kinds of music. I love going to live shows. I love music in general. Music makes me happy. So that's my hobby. That's my passion. One thing that I always say is I wish that I could sing. I can't carry a tune to save my life. I try. But I always that was always something that I wanted to do when I grew up. When I was little, I remember I used to dance around and I thought I was Gem in the Holograms. I just can't sing, but I'm passionate about music, so I like to go to concerts. That's my hobby. What's your hobby? Is it painting? Do you want to start picking up a paintbrush? My grandmother, she was, I don't know, maybe in her 70s when she started painting, late 60s, early 70s, and I'm so thankful that she did because I have some, she has since passed, and I have some really beautiful paintings of hers in my home. My family all has paintings of hers, and it was something she was passionate about. She started taking art classes, and I always admired that about her. She's in her 70s taking art classes and making these beautiful paintings. So is it painting? Do you want to take a dance class? Why not? Do you love to write? Or do you just love to learn? Like, there are so many different hobbies that you can do. Crocheting, everybody's like, when I was growing up, I remember that was always like a quote unquote old lady thing to do. Oh my gosh, some of the beautiful creations I've seen now from people as young as in their 20s that do these kind of things. Or maybe it's a puzzle, or maybe it's just walking. Maybe it's bird watching or gardening. Find yourself a hobby. Find something you're passionate about and make it your hobby. Create a new hobby. What about lifestyle changes? I mean, are your kids grown up and they're off doing their own thing? Is it time to move to a new city or remodel the home to match who you are now? I mean, my style changes all the time. I don't really even know what my style is, but, maybe remodel your house. And it doesn't have to be a full construction remodel, just maybe get some new accessories. Or maybe you want to simplify your life. Maybe you are a mom who has had stuff in your life all the time, toys everywhere and clothes and everything else. Maybe it's time to be a minimalist. Find something that suits who you are now. And then what about wellness and health? What have you always wanted to try? I've always wanted to try hot yoga. I haven't tried it yet. This is me putting it out there that someday soon, hopefully, I'm going to find a hot yoga class and try that. Or like explore mindful eating without dieting, without worrying about dieting. Explore how your body feels. Get outdoors more. Go walk to the farmer's market. Take some time and go on a hike or explore nature around you. Listen, this doesn't have to be a full-grown reinvention, not total overhaul, just little things that you can do to maybe start to enjoy your life again. We have spent so many years taking care of other people. Even if you're not a mom, you've had to take care of somebody, right? Whether it's a partner or, you take care of people at work or a parent. We're always giving. We're giving, we're giving, we're giving, we're giving. Right now, I am giving you the okay to be selfish. Midlife is a time to figure out who you are without all those labels. Take some time and be selfish. Take some time and sit and think about what you really love and what you're really passionate about. So we're talking about all this, but I know, in the back of your head, or maybe in the forefront, you're thinking, yeah, it sounds great, but like, it's scary. It's scary to figure out who we are. And it's scary to do all these things and change and become passionate about something or put into action things that you're passionate about. So there's that internal tug of war maybe that you're thinking, am I too old to start over? Hell no. I'm telling you right now, you are not too old to start over. It is never too late. I tell you that about strength training, but I'm telling you about anything in life. It is not too old to start over. I know that there's a fear of failure. We all kind of have that hanging over us. And guess what? It's okay to fail. It's okay to fail at something. It just means you weren't ready for it. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I read a lot of books. My spiritual journey is one of my own doing, and I don't talk a lot about religion. So this quote may resonate with you, it may not. But Jamie Kern Lima is somebody that I really admire. She kept going and going and going. If you don't know who she is the founder of It Cosmetics. And she was rejected by a lot of people because of the way her skin looked, because of the way her body looked, because they said, nobody will ever buy makeup off of a girl that looks like you. And she kept going. And she has this quote that rejection is God's protection. And I love that quote because, just because you were rejected at something at that moment of time doesn't mean that you're always going to be rejected. It doesn't mean that you failed. It means that person at that point of time wasn't the path that you were supposed to go down, and it's okay. So it's okay to fail because you learn from these failures, right? We have to fail in life. The whole point I'm trying to make is, what do you do after you fail? Do you just give up? Because I have a lot. I've given up and I haven't done what I wanted to do. And in my 40s now, I don't want to live with any regrets thinking, oh, I wish I would have said this or I wish I would have done this because I was afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to fail anymore. I'm afraid to regret not doing something. So we have that fear of failure, right? We also have a fear of judgment. I mean, I know that I've said I've gotten more confident in my 40s, but I still have that. I have stopped and started things, and I have posted things on Facebook that I was afraid to do. I haven't posted things because I'm like, oh, what if somebody judges me for that? Of course, it's human nature. We're afraid because maybe we do have some perfectionism in us. But things like this, my podcast was one of the things where, again, one of my favorite podcasters, Jenna Kutcher, says, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be done. And so that's what I'm doing. This isn't perfect. I don't want it to be perfect. If it's perfect, then it's not real, right? But, you have to start somewhere. So get over that fear of judgment and just do it. The imposter syndrome, man, that is so real. It is such a real thing. And I have it. I still have it to this day, and I try to get over it. But, it's one of those things where, well, who am I to do this or who am I to say that? Who am I not to? What if all these people that I look up to never started? Then I would have nobody to look up to, What if I didn't start this podcast? Then I would have, every week, I would have said, oh my gosh, why didn't you do it yet? Why didn't you do it yet? Just, again, Nike probably has the best tagline ever that was ever made for marketing. But it's so true. Just do it. Who cares if you fail? You're going to. It's just about how many times you get back up. Keep getting up. We're only in midlife. We have this whole season to reinvent ourselves and figure out who we are. And it's okay if it takes a while. And it's okay if you change 5 or 6 or 7 times who you are, or your style, or your job, or your hair color. Who cares? It's about how you feel. It's not about everybody else. And I say this to my kids all the time. Other people's opinions of you are not your business. And it's really hard when you're in the moment and you're upset about something, but that's something that I have to remind myself of all the time. Other people's opinions of me are not my business. So give yourself some permission to be bad at something new and still do it. You want to take that dance class, but you don't have any rhythm? Who the hell cares? Do it anyway. As I'm sitting here saying that, I like to sing. And when I'm at concerts, I sing as loud as I can because I don't care. It's what I enjoy doing. Give yourself permission to be bad at something. But start small. Build momentum. Find a community. That's what I did. You know, I think I talked about it before, but I had a vision board a few years ago of all these things that I wanted to do. And I'm happy to say that I accomplished all of them. And the podcast was the one for a year, was the only one I didn't do. And I kept looking at it. And finally, I just took the dive and I started the Midlife Edit. And now I've built this community of amazing women and some men too, who have reached out to me and said thank you. And I've made friends. And these guests that I have on my podcast have become such great friends and mentors and colleagues. And it's just been amazing. Just do it. So, of course, it's easier said than done, right? How do you figure out who you are? How do you reinvent yourself? How do you get the strength or the confidence to quit that job and start a new one, or start that podcast, or write that book, or show that painting off? There's a lot you can do. We can start small. Journal. Reflect on what you want to do. Get a therapist or a coach. I am so thankful for therapy. Therapy has really helped me gain confidence and really also figure out who I am and put up the boundaries that I needed to put up so that I was okay with myself. Therapy can be really good at figuring out the why you do things, the imposter syndromes. Therapy can be really great. If you don't want to do therapy, what about a coach? I'm a coach. I'm here to help you. But there are so many different coaches out there. Lifestyle coaches, business coaches, nutrition, health, all these different kinds of coaches, career coaches. Find yourself a coach. Build a community. Get on Facebook. Find Facebook groups. Join the Midlife Edit or the Midlife Gains Club on Facebook. Talk to people in there. Let's lift each other up. There's so many different ways that you can find a community. It's really hard. Look, another thing that's really scary in midlife is making new friends, because let's be honest, we grow out of friendships. Things happen. Things change. Your friends that were your friends in your teens and 20s, maybe they're going different directions from you, and you kind of just drift apart. And that's okay. It's okay to drift away from friends. It's kind of scary to make new friends, though, right? But build a community. Start a new class. Maybe you can find friends in there. I've made friends just from this platform that I've done, and I'm so thankful for it. Okay, so you don't want to make new friends, and you like being by yourself, and but you really want to still learn things or get out there. There's online classes. There are so many online classes and online courses that you can take and you can learn things from. It's amazing how many things like that are out there. Learn a new skill. There are books out there, podcasts. There are so many podcasts on any topic that you could ever imagine. So maybe take a walk and listen to a podcast. You don't have to, when we talk about hobbies or even passions, it doesn't have to make you money, right? Following that curiosity without the pressure to monetize it is something that's so important. If it's something that you want to monetize, then you just have to have patience and give yourself grace, because you can get there, but don't be tied to the outcome. I think that that's something that is so important to talk about and know. If you start, let's say, an Etsy shop, and you want to do it because you want to post your watercolor paintings on there and you want to sell those. Do it for you. Do it because painting is a passion and you started this Etsy shop to show your passion off, but don't expect to make $1 million right away. Don't be tied to the outcome. Be tied to the way painting makes you feel. And then hopefully it'll make somebody else feel that way. If we're so worried about the outcome of everything, we'll never start. So don't be tied to it. This is really great to talk about. I think that we need to continue to have these kind of conversations to boost each other up when you see that somebody has started a new workout program or a new podcast, or they started taking new classes, or you've noticed that maybe their styles changed a little bit. It's okay to say, hey, I noticed that you started wearing more fun colors. That's awesome. I love it. Build each other up. Show each other that it's okay to start over. It's okay to reinvent yourself, and it's okay to figure out who you are. It's okay to be selfish in this time. This is a blank canvas for you, a completely blank canvas. So find something new, start something new, explore yourself in this whole time. I'm going to create something for you. I'm going to do a midlife reinvention workbook. It'll be free. Just kind of like a reflection journal of everything that we've talked about and about what reinvention can mean. And maybe that's something that you can explore, like what parts of me are ready for a change. Is it your career? Do you love your career and you want to be in it forever? Awesome. Is it you want to start a new hobby? Is it maybe it's finally time that you had that tough conversation with that friend that just, it's not working anymore? It's okay. Let's figure it out together. So I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to create the Midlife Reinvention Workbook. I'll throw it out there for free. Check the show notes. I'll put it out there. I'll put it in the Midlife Gains Club. So make sure that you join it. And don't be afraid to speak up in there and chat with other women about all of this. Because, again, we're in this amazing time where we can reinvent ourselves and live our lives the way we want to. And it's okay. It's okay to do this. It's okay to change. It's okay to be selfish. So let's do it. What's one thing that I'm going to change this week, or I'm going to say yes to, or I'm going to start? I'm going to find, you know what I'm going to do this week? I'm going to find that hot yoga class. I'm going to find it somewhere around here, and I'm going to join it, and I'm going to make new friends. In a few weeks is the start of my quote unquote Dave season. My husband and I are hitting a few shows this summer. So if you are a Dave Matthews fan and that's how you found this podcast, look for me there. I have some special midlife edit stickers that I'm going to give out. I'm going to start hot yoga. That's what I'm going to do for myself this week. And, one thing that my therapist told me to do that I've been doing is take an hour, schedule it, take an hour for yourself just to do nothing. Take a walk without listening to a podcast or music. Find some time to just sit and think, because we don't do that enough. We are so uncomfortable with doing that we avoid it. So I'm going to take an hour to myself this week and sit and think. I'm recording this Saturday, May 10th, the day before Mother's Day. So for all of you out there who are moms, happy Mother's Day. It'll be late by the time this comes out, but I hope that you had the best day for however you decided to celebrate it, because moms should be celebrated, because moms rule the world. Women rule the world. And if you're not a mom, I hope that you had a great day celebrating your mom or moms in your life that you love. We're rolling into summer, which I'm super excited about. And I just hope that everybody gets to enjoy themselves. And I hope that this podcast episode today resonated with you. I hope that it gives you, at least you start to think about who you are and who you want to be in this season of life, because it's your time. This is your time to shine. This is your time to figure out who you are. And it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. It's okay to change who you are multiple times. Just be who you are for you and not for anybody else. I'm really excited that you listened. I'm so thankful. Make sure you subscribe, you share with somebody in your life that this could help. And just, continue to be the best version of yourself, because I know that we're really hard on ourselves sometimes. And this is just my little way of telling you that everything's going to be okay. Give yourself grace and figure out who you are, one step at a time. Until next week, everyone, this is the Midlife Edit. Let's make it a damn good chapter.